Welcome, everyone, and welcome back to your channel that will change your life for the better, Alpha Intel.
Wow. You are really coming in strong right out of the gate today. I love that energy.
You know I have to. And look, before we even get into the details of today's talk, I want you, and I mean everyone listening right now, to do something for me.
Okay, I'm listening. We're all listening.
I want you to imagine looking in the mirror tomorrow morning. Just really visualize that reflection. And I want you to realize one harsh thing. That person looking back at you, that person is your biggest enemy.
Wait, my biggest enemy? But I mean, that's me.
Exactly. And honestly, that is the whole problem. That version of you is the one who keeps you tired. It keeps you broke. It keeps you afraid.
That is heavy, but true.
It is. That person is the reason you don't have the life you dream about. So if you want a new life, the very first thing you have to do is delete the person you are right now.
Delete yourself. Wow.
Yes, delete the old you. And in this episode, we are going to show you exactly how to do that step by step.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because, deleting myself sounds terrifying, but also strangely necessary.
It is a total factory reset of the self.
Right. And looking over our notes for this discussion, it all converges on this one huge idea. The old you is the actual obstacle, not the world outside.
Precisely. It isn't the economy, it isn't your boss, and it definitely isn't bad luck. It is the software currently running in your head.
The old programming.
Exactly. And the first thing we need to address is why we stay stuck in the first place. We call this the invisible prison.
Or, as most people probably know it, the comfort zone.
The comfort zone, yes.
But, looking at the biology of this, it completely makes sense why we stay there. The brain is biologically designed for one primary thing, and that is survival.
Just keeping the lights on.
Right. It wants to keep you safe and warm. It is not designed to help you, write a book or start a business or get six-pack abs.
No, not at all. This is what people completely forget. Your brain does not care if you are happy or successful. It only cares if you are alive.
It's just a survival machine.
So when you say, hey, I'm going to go to the gym, and your brain screams, no, let's sit on the couch and watch a movie, that isn't you being lazy.
It feels like laziness, though.
It does, but it isn't. That is your primitive brain doing its exact job. It sees change and energy output as danger.
Exactly. It's a very old mechanism. Thousands of years ago, if you left the cave, you might actually get eaten by a tiger.
So staying in the safe zone kept you breathing.
Right. But the world is totally different now. There are no tigers waiting outside your apartment.
It is completely different. In the modern world, being safe is actually the most dangerous place to be.
Because you aren't moving forward.
Right. If you are comfortable, you aren't growing. And if you aren't growing, you are essentially dying. You get left behind.
That is a really scary thought, to be honest.
This should be a wake-up call. But here is the mindset shift you need. Pain is a compass. If something is hard, it is the right way to go.
So the resistance is actually the map.
Exactly. If you feel resistance, that means you are going in the right direction. But this raises a really big question for the listener. How do we fix this without just feeling like failures every single time we slip up?
Because fighting your own brain every day is exhausting.
It drains you.
This is the crucial part. It really comes down to identity. And this is something I struggle with, and I think a lot of people do too. You cannot just change your actions.
You have to change the core.
Yes, you have to change who you believe you are.
I absolutely love this distinction. Give the listeners an example of that.
Okay, think about a simple habit like reading. It is the massive difference between saying, I want to read more books, and saying, I am a reader.
That sounds like a really small change in words, but the impact is huge.
It is massive. If a habit is just a chore or something you think you should do, it breaks under pressure.
Because it's an outside force.
Right. But if it is part of your identity, it becomes second nature. It's like, okay, imagine you are trying to quit eating sugar.
A very common goal.
If someone offers you a donut and you say, oh, I can't eat that, you are actively holding yourself back. You are using willpower.
You're telling your brain that you want it, but you aren't allowed to have it. And eventually, you will give in.
Exactly. But if you say, no thanks, I don't eat that because I'm a healthy person, it is just a fact about who you are.
There's no internal argument.
None. A healthy person doesn't eat junk. End of story.
So we need to stop acting like we were just visiting a new life and start actually living there. We need to be that person today.
Be the new identity.
But let's get into the weeds of why this is so physically hard to do. Because we have these things called biological traps.
Oh, yes. And the absolute biggest one is the habit loop.
This is classic psychology. The loop is simple. Cue, routine, reward.
Correct. And our brain loves these loops because they are totally automatic. It is like a train track. Once you are on it, it is incredibly hard to get off.
Because the brain doesn't have to think anymore.
Exactly. I actually have a very personal story about this. I call it the pizza habit.
The pizza habit. Okay, I think I know where this is going, and I guarantee the listeners can relate. Tell us.
So here is the exact scenario. I promised myself on Monday morning this week, I will eat healthy. Absolutely no junk food.
A classic Monday promise.
And I am good all week long, but then Friday night rolls around.
The danger zone.
Exactly. I finish a long week of work, I am completely tired, and I am stressed out. That feeling is the cue.
It triggers the track.
My brain says to me, you are tired, you worked hard, you deserve a break. That expectation of feeling relief, that is the reward.
And what is the routine? What do you actually do?
The routine is ordering a massive pizza. I eat it, I feel super relaxed for about 20 minutes, and then I feel terrible because I broke my promise.
And see, most people try to fix this by fighting the cue. They try to tell themselves, I shouldn't be tired. Or they try to deny the reward completely. They say, I don't need to relax, I need to be disciplined.
But you can't just delete the biological need to relax. You are human.
Exactly. So the fix is not to fight the loop. The fix is to hack the loop. You keep the cue. It is still Friday. You are still tired.
That doesn't change.
And you keep the desire for the reward. You absolutely still want to relax, but you swap out the routine.
So instead of ordering the pizza, maybe I go for a really nice long walk. Or I cook a healthy meal while listening to my favorite music.
You still get the relaxation.
Yeah.
You still get the reward, but you don't get the regret.
You are rewiring the train track, not blowing up the train.
Exactly. You don't have to live like a monk. You just have to change the vehicle you use to get that feeling of reward.
That makes so much sense. But there is another biological trap that I think kills way more dreams than pizza ever could.
Oh, really? Which one?
The dopamine drop.
Yes. The fireworks face. This is huge.
We have all felt this. You start something completely new. A new workout program, a new language course, a new business idea.
And your brain just floods with dopamine.
You feel so excited. You buy the expensive new notebook. You write on the very first page in your absolute best handwriting. You feel like a massive success on day one.
And then what happens?
Then you get to page 15, or it is week 3 at the gym, and the task isn't new or shiny anymore. It is just hard work. It's raining outside, your handwriting gets messy.
And the dopamine is completely gone.
The fireworks stop. And this is the most dangerous moment. Most people interpret this lack of excitement as a loss of motivation, or even worse, as a failure.
They think, oh, I guess I just don't want this enough.
Right. They think the goal was wrong.
But it isn't failure. It is strictly biology. The chemical rush of newness is gone. That is the exact moment when the real work begins.
Exactly. And that leads right into the concept of the willpower battery. I found this idea so fascinating. The idea that willpower is not a character trait. It is a literal fuel tank.
It is. Think about it exactly like your cell phone battery. It is at 100% in the morning when you wake up, but every single decision you make drains that battery.
Even the small ones.
Especially the small ones. What should I wear today? Drain. What should I eat for breakfast?
Drain.
Drain. How do I politely reply to this annoying email? Drain.
So by 8 o'clock at night, the battery is flashing red. It's empty.
Completely empty. And that is why nobody ever cheats on their diet at 7 in the morning. Have you ever noticed that?
Yeah.
Nobody wakes up and immediately eats a bowl of ice cream.
That's true. But at 8 p.m., it is an absolute war zone in the kitchen.
Because you have zero battery power left to say no. Your brain just wants the easiest reward possible.
So the solution isn't to just magically try to be a stronger person. It is to reduce the number of decisions you make.
Precisely. You have to automate your daily life. Plan your meals on Sunday. Lay out your gym clothes the night before. Do not waste your precious battery power on trivial stuff.
Save that power for the big stuff.
Yes. Save it for building your business or finishing that workout.
That is extremely practical advice. Okay, so we understand the traps now. We know about the habit loop, the dopamine drop, and the willpower battery. Now let's talk about the mindset required to beat them. There is a phrase we use at Alpha Intel that really struck me. Motivation is a lie.
It is a massive lie. And I know people hate hearing this. They say, but I need to get motivated before I can start. No, you do not.
It is a provocative statement, but if you look at actual high performers like athletes or CEOs, it completely holds up.
Huh.
Do you think a professional athlete trains in the freezing rain at 4 in the morning because they feel motivated to do it?
Definitely not. They want to stay in a warm bed just like you do.
So why do they get up?
Because they have a system. They operate on non-negotiables.
Non-negotiable. I really love that term. It basically means the internal debate is over before it even starts.
Right. The old you waits to feel ready. The old you says, I will do it when the inspiration hits me. The new you understands a fundamental truth. Action comes first. Confidence and motivation are the result of taking action, not the cause of it.
So you have to start moving first, and the good feeling comes later.
Exactly. There is that great rule of thumb done is better than perfect. Imperfect action creates real momentum. If you sit around waiting for the perfect plan, you are just stalling. You are hiding.
But I can hear the listener right now saying, okay, that sounds great, but my goals are huge. I want to change my entire life. And looking at that gap feels like trying to climb a mountain. How do we tackle big goals without just burning out on day 2?
We use something I call alpha math, the 1% rule.
Break that down for us, because honestly, 1% sounds way too small to even matter.
It sounds totally invisible, but here is the actual math. Do not try to change 100% of your life in a single day. That is a guaranteed recipe for crashing. Just aim to improve 1% every single day.
So just making today a tiny bit better than yesterday.
Tiny. Almost unnoticeable. But you improve just 1% every day for a full year, mathematically, because of compounding, you end up 37 times better than when you started.
Wait, 37 times better? Not just 37%.
37 times. That is the unbelievable power of compounding. You are a completely unrecognizable human being at the end of the year.
That is massive, and it applies to literally everything. We talked about an example regarding writing in a notebook. Instead of trying to write 20 perfect pages and failing because it's too hard, just write 2 lines.
Just 2 lines. Make the daily habit so ridiculously small that your brain simply cannot say no to it.
So small your brain cannot say no. I really like that. It basically tricks you into starting. But even if we take those small steps, we still have this voice inside our heads, the negative self-talk.
The inner critic. The voice that says, I can't do this, I'm not smart enough, people are going to laugh at me.
This is where we need to understand the hardware of the brain again, specifically the RAS, the reticular activating system.
This is the brain's filter, right?
Yes, your brain is bombarded with millions of bits of data every single second. Sights, sounds, colors, conversations. If you actually paid attention to all of it, you would go crazy. So the RAS acts as a bouncer. It decides what information gets through to your conscious mind, and it filters everything based on what you tell it to focus on.
It is exactly like the new car effect. You decide to buy a red car, and suddenly...
You see red cars everywhere, on every street. They were always there, of course, but now your RAS is actively looking for them. Now, apply that mechanism to your own life. If you constantly focus on failure, your RAS will show you failure everywhere. It will highlight every single mistake you make.
It proves you're right. But what if you focus on growth?
Then the RAS will show you opportunity. It will start pointing out solutions that were right in front of you the whole time.
So we actively have to reprogram that filter. We suggest 3 very simple tools for this: affirmations, visualization, and gratitude.
They sound a bit like self-help buzzwords, I know, but they're technically reprogramming tools for the brain. Affirmations like simply saying, I am getting better every day, give your RAS a brand new search command.
Now, what about visualization?
Visualization actually tricks the brain into thinking you have already succeeded at a task. Your brain doesn't know the difference between a vivid imagination and reality. It builds confidence before you even step up to do the work.
And the third one, gratitude.
Gratitude trains your brain to constantly scan your environment for the positive. It forces the RAS to find the good things in your day, which gives you more energy.
So we are essentially hacking our own internal software, but we also have to talk about the hardware outside of us, our physical environment.
This is huge. You can have the best mindset and the best routines in the world, but if your daily environment is toxic, you will always struggle.
And the absolute biggest enemy in our environment today is what I call the digital thief.
The smartphone. It is the ultimate attention stealer.
It destroys your ability to focus. And the rule we have at Alpha Intel for this is very strict. No social media for the first 2 hours of the day.
2 whole hours. I know some people who start to panic if they can't check their phone within 2 minutes of opening their eyes.
And that is exactly the point. If you cannot go 2 hours without checking what random strangers are doing on the internet, you are not in control of your own life. The morning is for building yourself, not consuming content. You need to use that fresh energy for your 1% growth.
But it isn't just the phones holding us back, is it? It is the people around us, too. We call them social ghosts.
Social ghosts. These are the friends who make little passive-aggressive jokes when you try to change your life. You tell them, hey, I'm going to the gym tonight. They say, oh, look at you trying to be an Olympic athlete. You'll quit in a week anyway.
Why do people do that? Is it just pure jealousy?
No, it is mostly fear. When you decide to grow, your progress reminds them that they are choosing to stay exactly the same. They try to pull you back down just to make themselves feel more comfortable.
It reminds me of the bucket of crabs analogy. If you put crabs in a bucket and one tries to climb out, the other crabs will physically pull it back down into the pile.
Exactly. And the golden rule here is the average of 5. You are the direct average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If your 5 closest friends are lazy, you will be lazy. If they are driven, you will grow.
So, do we need to just abruptly dump all our old friends?
You don't have to be cruel about it, but you absolutely must change your information diet. If your current friends aren't pushing you to be better, you need to start listening to audiobooks, watching educational discussions, and finding virtual mentors who do push you.
Okay, we have covered a ton of ground. We talked about the mindset, the biology, and the environment. Now let's get highly practical. The listener is probably asking, what do I actually do today? We have a very specific plan. We call it the Alpha Intel 7-Day Protocol.
This is the real challenge, and it is intentionally designed to be simple but very difficult. It is a hard reset button for your life.
Let's walk everyone through the 4 specific steps. What is step 1?
Step 1 is the morning rule. We just talked about it. Absolutely no phone for 2 hours after waking up. No checking email, no social media, no exceptions.
Got it. Step 2.
Step 2 is the 1% task. You must spend exactly 30 minutes on one major goal, learning a new skill, exercising, or working on a side business. Just 30 uninterrupted minutes of deep focus.
Step 3.
Step 3 is the physical spark. 15 minutes of intense movement. Go for a brisk walk, run, or just do push-ups right there in your living room. You need to physically signal to your body that you are alive and ready.
And finally, step 4.
Step 4 is the audit. This is the most critical part. Every single night, right before you go to sleep, write down 3 things you did really well that day and 1 specific thing you failed at.
Why focus on writing down the failure?
Because you need radical honesty with yourself. You have to clearly face the bad data so you can fix it the next morning.
I love that level of accountability, but we really have to warn the listeners. There is a hidden trap in this protocol.
Yes, there is. Days 3 and 4 are always the hardest.
Why those days specifically?
Because by day 3, the initial excitement is totally gone. The dopamine drop hits hard. That is when the old you desperately tries to return. Your brain starts whispering, just check your phone for 5 minutes, or you can skip the workout just this once. Pushing through day 4 is how you actually win. That is the exact moment you finally delete the old you.
So when you look at the whole picture, what does this really mean? It means lasting change isn't some magic miracle. It is a conscious choice you have to make every single morning.
It is about stepping out of the back row of the movie theater and finally walking up onto the stage. It is your life. You need to start acting like the main character.
So here is the big question for you listening right now. Are you ready for the 7-Day Protocol? What is the one thing you are going to commit to doing every single day?
We really want to know. Drop a comment below right now. Tell us your one thing. We read every single comment.
And if you are truly serious about your own growth, keep tuning in.
Make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out. Stay focused, stay alpha.
See you in the next episode.